evening to you. After a very busy week of dealing with flooding, the city of Fort Wayne says it has a good handle on the week ahead. News Channel 15's Sara Wagner continues our coverage on the cleanup efforts tonight from Studio 15.
From closing streets to filling sandbags, the city's had its hands full trying to control the rising waters. It says thanks to hundreds of volunteers and a few dry days, conditions are greatly improving across town.
The city's closed a dozen or so streets since the flooding started Tuesday. Fairfield Avenue, the only road to reopen so far. The neighborhood next to it still full of sandbags. Neighbors say the water has gone down significantly during the last few days.
Today looks good. It's better.
You can still see a lot of flooding here along the St. Mary's River in downtown Fort Wayne. But the city says the river's already dropped around 2 feet since it crested Friday afternoon. Because of that significant decrease, the city says flooding shouldn't be as much of a concern in the week ahead.
We'll watch the rainfall, but it is significant that we've had about a 2-foot drop in the river level, which means that it can handle some more in certain parts.
While the water is still high on streets like Calhoun and Tillman, the city says receding waters will become a more common sight across town this week.
We are sending some staff home and cutting back on some of the overtime.
The city is comparing this week of flooding to the one in 2003 when the St. Mary's River reached its highest point ever.
In 2003, we had well over 200 homes that had damage. We believe it's going to be somewhere between 10 and 15 of property damage in this flood.
The city says the flood control projects throughout the last decade are to thank for that. Several other factors are also helping control this latest round of flooding. Those include more than 400 volunteers, 30 pumps, and 50,000 sandbags.
When it comes to something like this, it doesn't matter what part of town it's in. It's everybody's neighbor.
The city expects to turn the pumps off tomorrow. It also says the majority of the other roads should also open tomorrow. In Studio 15, Sara Wagner, News Channel 15.